In a region increasingly affected by extreme weather, rising sea levels, and rapid urbanization, building climate resilience is no longer optional. It's essential. In this interview, Norio Saito, Senior Director at the Asian Development Bank, ADB, shares how ADB is supporting cities through integrated planning, nature-based solutions, and innovative funding approaches to address climate and flood risks.
Hi Norio-san. So I would like to find out how ADB is addressing flood and climate-related challenges.
Thank you for that question. So ADB places a lot of emphasis on urban resilience, and our approach is basically very integrated and holistic. We start with climate risk and vulnerability assessment to identify where the vulnerabilities are and how we can support the resilience. And then our support is a combination of hard engineering measures and soft measures, and also incorporating nature-based solutions in that approach. And then capacity building of the institutions, that is really a critical part that needs to be incorporated into the project. So those are the key aspects of how we support urban resilience.
Okay, so what are some innovative approaches to strengthen this climate resilience that you've talked about?
Yeah, I want to talk about our climate resilience, Coastal Towns Climate Resilience Project in Bangladesh, which we supported in 2022. This is ADB's loan of $250 million to support 22 coastal towns in Bangladesh. So as I mentioned earlier, we started with a very robust climate risk and vulnerability assessment. And we took a systems approach to really identify how we can really strengthen the resilience of those 22 towns. For example, we identified that the cyclone shelters are necessary so that they can evacuate in terms of cyclones or serious climate change events. But of course, they need better access to aid of those emergency services when the cyclone hit those cities. So better roads to the cyclone shelters is also one part of the project. And then we need to we are supporting the overall urban flood management systems or drainage system improvement in these towns. So we took a systems approach to really identify the scope of the project. But then of course it comes with institutional strengthening and the governance improvement of the central and local governments. And also it's important to support vulnerable communities. So enhancing livelihoods of the poor and vulnerable households, that's also a critical component of that project. And also we are able to mobilize a small grant funding to pilot test nature-based solutions in these towns to really enhance the effectiveness of the interventions. So those are some of the aspects of the project.
That's fantastic. Actually, I'm also curious to know, that happened in 2022, right?
Right.
So right now, 2025, is the towns back to normal, much better?
Well, it's under implementation there because when the project was processed, it's still, we are not fully get out of COVID pandemic.
Yes.
So the project was a little bit delayed in starting up the implementation, but now it's in full swing. So now a lot of the civil works is ongoing. So we'll see the result maybe in a few years' time.
That's good to know. Thank you. And one last question. Any opportunities that inspire wider adoption across the sector? What do you think about that?
Yeah, this one, of course, this coastal towns is a great example, but I want to also talk about the flood management project in Chennai.
Okay.
Yeah, so this one, we took also similar approach to support flood management, but it's again a combination of structural measures and non-structural measures. And we were able to mobilize grant resources to pilot test nature-based solutions. So we got like $7 million grant from a global environmental facility. And ADB's loan is again about $250 million. And this was approved in 2021. And the second aspect is we are supporting own source revenue generation of the Greater Chennai Corporation, which is an implementing agency, because they need better financial capacity to operate and maintain the facilities. And so we provided some advisory support, and just recently they were able to issue municipal bonds so that they can actually implement more kind of physical investments to strengthen the resilience of the facilities. And another aspect is, as I mentioned, we are mobilizing additional grant resources. We also tapped some grant resources from the government of Japan, which is supporting the vulnerable communities in the project area.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Okay.
As cities and communities across Asia and the Pacific face growing climate risks, the need for scalable, innovative, and inclusive solutions has never been greater. Through its integrated approach to water and urban development, the Asian Development Bank is not only building resilience, it's helping to shape a more sustainable and climate-ready future. Thank you to Norio Saito for sharing these insights and for inspiring action across the region's water sector and beyond.